Tip.
Good afternoon. It is August 7th, 2019. You're listening to A Little Column A, A Little Column B, hosted by Will Leanos and co-hosted by Zach Bishop. How you doing today, buddy?
What's going on, Will? We're not doing nearly as well as this guy. He accidentally threw out a shoebox, $23,000 worth of cash in it. It's his life savings. He gets a hold of the recycling center, says, hey, keep an eye out for this. They go, we'll keep an eye on it, but probably not going to happen. They find it. Have you ever lost any sort of substantial amount of money like this?
I've lost a wallet and found a wallet. I found my wallet, not just any wallet, I guess.
Is there a better feeling than when you find something like that? And you're just convinced, and there's the roller coaster of, I'm going to find it, and then there's that despair of, I am never going to find this. This sucks so much. But that relief and that rush of when you do find something like that, this guy, I don't know if he slept since this. I think he's just got to be just wired.
Well, do you think there's a lesson in maybe don't store your money in a shoebox?
Seems like a good life lesson. Seems like there's some other good places.
So, like, can you really sympathize for somebody that bad? I mean, it was kind of his fault. I would much more sympathize with somebody stole the shoebox from him. You know, having something taken from you, it feels much more violating than you kind of being responsible for one, irresponsibly storing it, and then I guess you being the one who actually threw it out. I guess granted he got his own self out of everything. He didn't really require a whole bunch of other help of everyone else, but anyone who ever thought they wanted to be a detective, and we all lose things every single day, I think that's clear evidence that none of us really want to be detectives. It's not nearly as cool as it is in the movies. You know, the leads don't just pop up like that. You don't suddenly, there's no instinct with any of that. I think it's just follow your steps and hopefully retrace your steps and hopefully something will turn up. But that is definitely a fun.
That they were able to find it.
That still seems strange to me that they did find it.
I think about when you throw your recycling, out by the curb, and then that gets collected up, and that gets collected into a truck, and I imagine the truck gets to some sort of processing center, and just a lot of moving pieces, and would just think that what kind of shoebox was this? Like, how the shoebox not open, and the cash is just all over, and it's just gone because it's cash. People just pick it up.
If you're on the other end of this and you go, I guess, take a look to see if his shoebox is there, and you find it, is he getting entirely everything back if you find it, or are you holding on to a little bit of this? Or you're holding on to the whole thing? I mean, at this point, this guy threw it away. You found it. Finders keepers. Is that not fair game?
That seems like some real bad karma for yourself.
I
don't think the childhood game of finders keepers applies to $23,000.
All right, what if the shoebox just showed up on your desk at work? Unaddressed, unnamed.
You figure out where that came from. This always seems like where there's like two different kinds of people. Where one side of people are like, oh, yeah, I found this. This is going to be good. I'm on the side of somebody's going to be looking for that. And somebody that had that amount of cash and lost it, ooh, they got a bunch, like they're going to be looking for it, and you're going to have a bunch of angry people coming after you. And if you take it, ooh, you better be ready for I think that the stress would just get to me.
Well, speaking of getting taken and I guess having some people mad at him, well, let's talk about the Amazon guy, this 22-year-old kid who was able to scam Amazon out of an alleged amount of it's some crazy amount. What is it, $370 million or something? Thousands of dollars?
$370,000.
That's all I got was 370 in your note. I didn't know the actual number. Anyways, but he was able to pull this off by returning the packages. Anyone who's ever ordered anything off Amazon, you have 31 days, 30 days, a month to return it. And in the meantime, as long as they receive, they'll send you another, like if something was broken, you can say, hey, this is broken, and they'll send it to you within 2 days. And you have 30 days to send back the broken item to them, of which apparently it's only really registered as a return by its own weight. And so this kid was filling the packages with the specific weighted amount of dirt and getting away with it for obviously a large amount of packages. I mean, how many packages do you think that took to get that kind of I guess money accumulated. Like that's a lot of money. That's a lot
Uh,
of packages.
it it's got to be a bunch. It says that he bought nearly 3,000 units of electronics, I guess you'd say. Digital cameras, gaming consoles, tablets. I mean, that makes sense. You want smaller items that are worth more. It's so much dirt.
Is that your problem with all of this? Is the dirt?
It was such a simple scam that he ran, and you just you get the item, you say, "Hey, Amazon, I don't want it." You send it back with the dirt in it, so it weighs right, and they don't check it. It just seems like it was a some sort of routine inspection that he even just happened to get caught on this. It's obviously been going on for a while, and then he was just selling the item somewhere else. That's a lot of money. He's really racking it up.
Oh, at
He's in big
20 at
trouble.
22 at 22 racking it up like that. Like, is this kid in college?
Doesn't say anything about college. He's probably out of college by 22,
Well, I don't know.
if he even went to college.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is. Anyways, at 22, that's a lot of money to suddenly just have like that. That's a big lifestyle
And
change.
it's probably one of those things you get addicted to, where it's like, I wonder if this would work. Ooh, this worked. All right, I'm only gonna do it a couple more times. 100 times later, I'm kind of getting accustomed to a certain lifestyle here.
So do we know?
Yep, all right, yeah, this is my job now.
Do we know what kind of level or degree that this kid's in trouble in? Like, what kind of time is he looking at? I imagine he's going to jail at some point. Like, you can't just do this and get off.
Uh, Bail was set at about $3,000. This was over in Europe, so it was 3,000 euros. Um, let's see.
This seems like something that would like you don't want this
No,
story to
nothing's
leak
really
out at
coming up,
all.
but yeah, nothing's really coming up on specifics. But I know, at least in America, like if you steal something, how much it's worth has a correlation to how big of the punishment is. So, you steal a candy bar, that's less than if you steal a rare diamond in a heist. So I think that it's even like limited. It's like once you go over a certain number, and I think that number has already got to be surpassed. So I think he's gonna get the max amount for, and then there's fraud involved. It wasn't just the theft. So yeah, he's in pretty big trouble.
Do you think he's the only one doing this? This obviously seems like a flaw. It doesn't seem like he didn't reinvent the wheel here. This is something I think a lot of people could have come to.
That was more what I was surprised about, was that because in my head was, I order something, a couple Christmases ago, I ordered something for my mom for Christmas. It was broken. Okay, Amazon, send it back. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I figure it gets back to the hub, and then similar to like they have the robots and the guys putting everything in boxes and sending it out. There was like the reverse process of guy opens it up. Okay. Yep. This is officially broken. Yep. Stamp. Make sure scan, not stamp. Scan. Make sure that guy gets his money. This is legit. And then it went. If it was really broken, you just probably just throw it away. If it was not broken or it was fine, it's just like it gets back on the shelf and ready to get resent out. But the fact that these just sit on shelves like forever, it's like that's how much money Amazon's making. When you return something, they don't even care. Like they're better off just keep sending stuff out. Like, that's just how much uber money that they're making. That was just staggering to me that they're not even concerned about returns, really.
What kind of value do you think all that dirt is worth? Is there an actual number or amount? Like, at least we have this.
I'm thinking because it was electronics. I mean, even 3,000, 3,000 items. Even if it was just a pound, 3,000 pounds of dirt. That's a lot of dirt.
You think he just has a
Like,
huge hole in his backyard?
I'm wondering if he had to invest in dirt. Like, was that part of the scam? If you had to, call in, call to a gravel yard. Hey, gonna need a truckload of dirt. Yeah, just dump it in back. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Like, it's almost like the you hear in Florida, Miami area during the cocaine, the heyday, that like the incredible amount of money they're spending on rubber bands just to hold all the cash together. Like that's He's got to spend money on dirt to keep the scam going.
I like that this scam suddenly had costs and expenses. I think that's great.
Yeah.
It's a funny story. I mean, I don't encourage anybody to do this. Do you think they're going to do anything to fix this, or this is just this is the threat right now that they're going to make an example out of this kid? Like, don't try this. But I can't imagine them really changing any system to. There's no system's going to be implemented to actually catch on to this. Do you think it's going to change?
Well, it did catch. It did catch him.
Yeah, by somebody
And you gotta wait for
randomly checking a box. I'll take those odds.
And I think it would be very similar to a lot of other crime that, yep, you can get away with it for a while, but it's gonna catch up to you.
I'm trying to think of a way that you could essentially fake the identity because they knew it was him. Because obviously all the packages were immediately returned to him. I just wonder if you could do that on someone else's name or a different name. If you could make a little bit of a maze out of all this, so it didn't just trace directly back to you.
Maybe you don't talk through your hypothetical Amazon fraud on a recording. Maybe you save that for later.
Well, if we're gonna talk about it, I feel like we need to give our opinion on it.
How can you prove that you didn't do this? We have you on your own podcast explaining exactly how you did it.
I don't know who that is. I have no idea who that name is. Never heard of that name before. I don't even know what you're talking about. There's enough voice recordings of me out there.
We got him.
There's enough voice recording of me out there to recreate my own voice. Like somebody's just typing at this point. This isn't even me. It's just piecing it all back together. You know what? Let's do a quick little follow up to our favorite French hoverboarder who has a reason to celebrate now. He has successfully made it across the English Channel. What's the latest on this? Did he do anything differently or just a better execution?
Frankie Zapata. He same hoverboard, same challenge, successful this time. It was a 22-mile journey, took 22 minutes, and he reached speeds of over 100 miles an hour. So definitely was cruising along. Didn't have any issue this time refueling midway through. And yep, success. I think that's a little cooler that it took him one time. I think sometimes when you do something that's super hard, you do it correctly, no problems the first time, and everyone just kind of looks and goes, well, yeah, how hard could it be? Did it right the first time? But now it was last week. There's a failure. It's like, oh, okay, no, this is pretty hard. All right, and now he still holds the record. He still did it. He's still successful. But everyone knows that this is pretty hard. Not everyone, even this guy couldn't do it on his first try.
So, do you think this is a more impressive, like, dangerous stunt, or more impressive kind of technological advancement? Like, what's more impressive? All this. Because I imagine there is some danger in this. This is not like a proven, tested, easy thing to do.
Oh no, he's just standing on a hoverboard. You are very much open to the elements here.
So there is like a gamble of risk. A stuntman kind of doing.
Oh yeah.
A task here. Is that more impressive, or is the technology impressive?
Look at the roller hoverboards that catch on fire. This thing's got mini jet engines in it. It could have exploded.
So which one are you more impressed with then?
How are they not the same?
Well,
this guy invented a hoverboard and then flew it 20 miles.
So you're saying they're
water.
Equally impressive then?
I think they go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. Well, I think somebody could make it, but not everybody could ride it. I'm saying that takes two different types of people. The fact that this guy was able to do both makes it immensely impressive. I was just curious to see if you thought one was more impressive than the other, but apparently not.
I think that the performance, the making it across, is more impressive than the invention of it. Is that the question?
Well, I think I'd like to think that we could make it across if we knew what we were doing, but I don't think there's any way we could ever build something like that.
Yeah, that's the direction I was going in.
So wouldn't building it actually be more impressive, seeing how not a lot of people in the world could do that? I guess that's all I'm getting to.
No, because I think more people would be able to build it, but to actually fly would be more difficult.
Do you think more people have one beer a day?
Yes, lots more people.
So Andre
Like an
Drummond,
infinite amount more people.
Andre Drummond, who is what is he 7'1", 250? I don't know. He's a big fella. He's a big guy.
Ooh, he's like 285.
285. He's a big fella. All right, he's a
the
big guy.
third. He's the third largest NBA player behind Zion and Boban.
Large human being. This is superhuman, right? This is a huge guy. Is claiming that he is changing his diet, and I like that. I think that's how it was worded in the article I read. That he was changing it. Like this is not a new thing. He was kind of on the path of trying to make this work in the previous setting, and now he's making adjustments to it to only having one beer a day. I just think the tolerance of it just doesn't add up, right? Like this doesn't make enough sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like his tolerance on it, like what kind of joy is he really getting out of all this? Is the actual taste of the beer? Is that what it is?
I think so. He said his go-tos are Miller Lite and Coronas.
And I don't know. I think essentially getting a little bit of a buzz off of beer is one of the many benefits of enjoying it, especially if you're drinking cheap beer like that. And that's very hard to do with one beer and almost impossible to do with somebody in his, I guess, weight range.
See, that's not my concern with this article at all.
That seems
Maybe we
like
saw
a waste.
Different headlines. The headline that I saw was NBA star going on beer diet. So I'm thinking, oh, is he doing some sort of modified all beer diet like that Monk was doing, and was just baffled and just, I have to click on this article. I have to find out. What is this? What's he doing? And then to find out he's having one beer a day, which is not a rare thing at all. I'd say it's pretty common for people to have one beer, after work. Not unusual. And then for the argument for it was to say, yeah, well, he cut out red meat, and because he cut out red meat, he's eating more vegetables, and so he's having trouble getting, enough caloric intake. So you're gonna have one beer. A Miller Lite has 99 calories in it. That's it. A granola bar has more calories than that. Like you're just like splitting the different 99 calories. That's really what's gonna make you stay at your weight. It just it was super clickbait, and I'm not mad at Andre Drummond, but I'm mad at all the people writing the articles because the headline was just very misleading. I did not like it, and it's one beer. It frustrated me.
It just seems like such a waste to me. There's no way he's enjoying this. There's no way he enjoys this one beer every day. It's too routine. I don't think you can do something
There has to be so many people and other NBA players that are saying, "You're getting publicity for this." Yes, I've been doing this since I was in college. Yes, this is what we're all doing, Andre. This isn't new news for us. This is a standard. Sometimes I have two. Worked out extra hard.
Do you think there's any activity or something like this that you could do every single day and actually enjoy it? I just think it would get boring.
What do you mean?
It would get so routine. Like, is there something you do every single day that's actually still enjoyable?
I guess it's not super enjoyable.
And, other than like bare necessities, like obviously hygiene and things like that, like those are the things that I feel like you're just kind of required to do to essentially fit in with.
But you classified it with things that are fun. I wouldn't necessarily say that the hygiene stuff. None of that I guess would say is super fun.
I mean, if it is for you, that's a certain couple hours of the day. Yeah, good for you. But
yeah, nothing's coming to mind.
Because I don't think that exists.
Something you do every day. That's tough. That's tough every single day.
I don't think something like that exists. I think it's kind of funny that this beer that most people use as an enjoyment and an entertainment kind of thing, almost a personal hobby if you're into like breweries and things like that. But it would get old. I just don't think every day it's not the right way to enjoy alcohol. Not every day.
This isn't about enjoyment, Will. This is about making sure that his diet is on point and he has the correct caloric intake.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
It's supposed to be.
I think it's supposed to be enjoyed.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes in this story, and I did not enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know. Speaking of someone else who's going through some troubles right now, another athlete, Antonio Brown, recently traded, about to debut in Hard Knocks. That's this week. What is that already? Is that already out? When is that out?
Last night.
Last night, Hard Knocks. Apparently, Antonio Brown has a foot injury. You would assume a football player having a foot injury wouldn't be quite that weird, but uh, the details of the injury are a little strange. What exactly happened to his foot here? How did he get hurt? Was it on the field or was it off the field?
It was off the field. Wasn't at home, but was off the field. He got extreme frostbite. He got extreme frostbite during cryotherapy. So that's kind of what is the hot thing right now with the athletes is you don't just go into the ice bath, you go a step further. I don't know exactly how this happened, but I'm wondering, are you surprised he's the first one this happened to, or you think this is just the first one that it's come out like this?
I gotta think this is the first one that's one got to us. Obviously Antonio Brown's a big enough name. You attach any headline to him that it's gonna become news. But I'm sure it's happened before. I don't think it's happened to anybody to the caliber level of Antonio Brown. And this just seems, again, irresponsible. Like, who's the adult in the room here? These guys are making millions of dollars. There's tons of people hired in their entourage, in their crew, in their staff, in the coaching staff, and the team staff, trainers. Like, how does this happen? Like, somebody has to know. But who's the adult here, right? Am I the only one kind of up in the air of thinking, like, this guy shouldn't be making these sort of decisions on his own? Like, somebody should be overseeing it?
Uh, this was last month when he was in France, and he didn't wear the appropriate footwear. So my guess is he went over to France. He didn't have, not even, I'm sure even when you're not at the training facility, there's just like kind of somebody around, like at least point in the right direction. And I'm thinking he was over in France and they just assumed that he knew what he was doing. And so they saw him like, yeah, you're good. Like, we turned the machine on. It's all good. Like, we're going to be out here. You're set. And he's like, yep, all good. And clearly he was not all good. Yep, burned his feet.
Man, that doesn't sound enjoyable. I don't think he's any faster. I don't think his injuries recovered any sooner from that. He got injured from the injury recovery.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, trying to be proactive on injury recovery. Definitely a unique injury. Did not expect to hear that. I guess the news came out yesterday, but they did not mention it on Hard Knocks last night, and so it'll be interesting next week if it's brought up. I'm thinking for sure, just knowing the general arc of Hard Knocks, I don't know if it'll be this week or the next week when they do some sort of group meeting. It's got to get brought up. I don't know if the coach brings it up or somebody brings it up and just teases them about it. Like, you have to. Like, you got frostbite, man.
I want to see Gruden on camera with somebody saying like, "Hey, AB can't practice today," and he goes, "Well, what do you mean? Why not?" And somebody has to tell him, "I want that on. Can we get that on camera? Can Hard Knocks promise
me
that?"
That could also happen.
Because
like, ankle again, something. No, coach, frostbite.
I think Gruden's kind of like a no games kind of guy. Like no playing around, no serious business. He's we're here to work. We're here to win. This is what we're doing. And for an injury and a story like that to come up this early and just kick off the Hard Knocks, it's like, wow, man. I can't. Do you think Gruden's actually enjoying the Hard Knocks here? Do you think this is something he's excited for, or do you think he's just not looking forward to this at all? That the fact there's gonna be camera all over his training camp and all in the locker rooms and behind the scenes of all this stuff. Yeah, they made a lot of changes. They took a lot of chances, and they still got this guy for like another 7 years or something. That's a long time. And for this year, for all the chances and changes they've made, there's a lot of pressure on him. I think this is the worst thing ever to have Hard Knocks, and then to bring AB in, all the drama he brings. Obviously, this is already starting. Like this is what I kind of expected to happen. I don't think this is going to be a successful team this year, especially without AB.
Well, I'll let you know that the show premiered last night. So my plan is to watch it today. So I haven't watched it yet. So that's pretty much as soon as the pod's over. That's my next plan on today. So I will get back to you on all of my in-depth Hard Knocks thoughts next week.
All right. Speaking of cold let's talk about this Oscar Mayer ice cream here, which it specifically includes candied hot dog meat. At first glance, that sounds disgusting and terrible. But I will ask you: have you ever had bacon in ice cream? Has that ever been something you've tried before, or had any interest in trying?
I haven't had it, but it's more of I just haven't come across it more than a intentional avoid it.
I think it's something worth trying. I wouldn't say it's like you have to do it, but it goes a lot better than you would ever expect. I mean, there's a lot of fat in bacon. There's a lot of fat in ice cream. You can marry those two together. You get kind of that salty sweet, depending how they use it. Now that's with bacon, and then I think bacon, can cross over. I think that anything below bacon, and in terms of hot dog meat on the scale or the spectrum here, that's not good enough. I think they gotta draw the line here. I don't think hot dog meat should be in ice cream, and I don't think I want to buy Oscar Mayer ice cream to begin with. I don't think that's a brand I would think like, yes, all right, Oscar Mayer, that's the trustworthy brand. Let's try this ice cream.
They've got it figured out.
So do you have any interest in trying this, or is this even like for sale, or is this just a kind of a joke item?
A little bit of a joke item. The Wienermobile is going to be driving around Manhattan next week to distribute free samples, but they're trying to get into the dessert area, so I don't think this will necessarily be their flagship. But I definitely think this is a good way to get attention. I think, like you said, Oscar Mayer. No, they're the hot dog guys. What are they doing in ice cream? And this might be a little bit of a transitional area, but I would try it. My first thought was, ooh, I like hot dogs, light ice cream. Nope, not together. But I think the way they put it, like candied hot dog, I think it's gonna be like little tiny pieces, and you'll get maybe a little bit, like you said, that bacon of a little salty in with the ice cream sweetness. But you try. It's an ice cream sandwich. You eat a little bit of it. You don't like it, you get rid of it. But I think it'd be okay. I think I'd be able to eat it as a snack.
Can the ice
Not all
cream,
the time,
rather than
right?
it being an ice cream sandwich, could be an ice cream hot dog bun kind of shaped sandwich?
Kind of. There's a picture, and it's got they don't call it the sandwich part on the outside. They call it a cookie bun. Yeah, they're on to you.
The cookie bun.
Yeah.
I feel like this is playing into the is a hot dog a sandwich kind of argument.
Yeah,
here.
it's
like
a mess.
it's blatantly playing into that, right? I like that. I like that part of the story a lot more.
It does. The only thing that I didn't like about it is it still looks like an ice cream sandwich where the top is fully cookie, the bottom's fully cookie, and the middle is fully ice cream. Where I think if it was a bun, at least one of the sides would have to also be cookie, like the way a bun is U-shaped.
I think it'd be really hard to make it not look like a taco if you went the way you wanted to. Like I think you would immediately associate
and
taco.
And then the ice cream taco, it gets confused. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I can.
But I like the fact that this was thought about. Let's not make it look like a sandwich. Let's try to make it look like a hot dog. Because I don't know. I've heard people argue that. I think we've talked about that on the show. We don't need to do that right now. Is a hot dog a sandwich or not?
Oh, we're gonna do this again?
No, we're not gonna do it again.
This been played out.
We're not doing it again. I don't want to do it. Not right now.
Yeah, this is just jump the shark a long time ago.
Speaking of something else we've talked about a long time ago, and it's been a little bit. I don't think we've talked about Tinder in some recent podcasts, but for those of you that are still using Tinder and still on the search for love, we have a new tip right now. The gentleman who has been matched more than any other Tinder person is revealing his secrets, and apparently it takes a specific day and time to get the most matches. So what time and what day do you need to do this to get increase your matches, I guess? Am I reading into this properly?
Yep, it's 2 p.m. on Sunday.
All right. I can try to make this rationally make sense in my mind, but I can't. This seems so random to me that it can't be true. But it also seems so crazy that it's something I haven't tried before, that maybe it would work. Maybe that's what it is. Like I'm overthinking that the busier weekend nights would be the time to try and match with somebody, or leading up to those nights would be that. But Sunday at 2, like that's even like post brunch on Sunday. Like brunch is probably wrapped up by then.
See, this is where you're overthinking it a little bit. Yes, you're having brunch if you're feeling good. Maybe you're not feeling so good. And maybe there's a chance you're just a little hungover. And by 2 p.m., you've sort of recovered. You're not 100%, but you're still not, with a bumping headache anymore. And you're starting to think, you know what? Next week I gotta make smarter decisions. I can't go out with my buddies again. This is getting to be bad. I gotta find some other path here. It said a combination of people being a little hungover, feeling a little sorry for themselves, as well as it's kind of Sunday afternoon is when you kind of start to make plans for the rest of the week. So you're kind of in your head, okay, yeah, I got basketball this day, got the podcast on Wednesday. Oh, I kind of got like nothing going on Thursday. So then, you're on Tinder, and that's when you match up with somebody, and you're kind of making plans for the week. So it's kind of a little bit of a combination of the two.
Do you think this guy's opening line was "How was your weekend"? I'm sure that's everyone's favorite.
Probably not. I don't know because it said he's the most swiped right, so I think that has to do more with the profile more than the opening line. So maybe he's got really bad opening lines after he just gets people to swipe right and then it's over. When do you think would be the second best time to do it? Totally different time. It's totally different. I'll just give you a hint there.
I'm guessing like Friday 3 p.m. Again with a similar like, all right, my weekend's probably gonna be starting soon. If I match now, maybe we can get together for tonight or tomorrow night or even Sunday afternoon. That just I don't know. It really depends on what you're using Tinder for. I imagine that's what Tinder is being used for the most part is weekend kind of events. So I'll say Friday at 3.
10:30 on a weeknight.
On a weeknight? 10:30 at night?
10:30 on a weeknight. He says
college night? Or any weeknight?
Just pretty much any weeknight, and not so much of going out that night. Very much more of it's 10:30. I'm done with the day. I'm kind of laying down, maybe watching a little TV. I'm going through Instagram, and you just kind of meander on over to Tinder for a little while.
I've made a huge mistake.
And it's kind of he says that a lot of people are apparently like too embarrassed to use the app regularly through the day. But it's like, hey, it's kind of late. Let me just check this out real quick.
We should try this strategy here. We should download the apps again and only do it at those times and see if it's actually effective.
Yeah. Download the app again. Yeah. No, I'll definitely have to get that back on my phone.
Do you still have it on your phone?
Why would you take it off?
I don't have it on my phone.
You haven't got married yet?
I'm convinced that
I had no idea you were having such a successful time that you just didn't need dating apps on your phone anymore, like some sort of
hotshot. I can't imagine. All right, if you're looking to not be single anymore, I don't think Tinder is the real solution to that.
Doesn't hurt. It doesn't point you in the wrong direction.
No, it doesn't. But we shouldn't do this right now either. We've done this before also.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I thought I could get you really just scrambling.
Scrambling? I'll put you back at your place on Tinder right now. All right, it's a worthless app. All right, half the people on there aren't even real, and the other half half you match with, and you wish you didn't match with.
Well, I don't know how you managed to do that, but if we are looking to go around this, the Mr. Popular does have a couple more suggestions. And what I did like about this whole article, it actually had like some actually helpful suggestive things where I feel like other times you go through and it's just either ridiculous, just one way or the other. It says to make sure that the first photo that you have has brightly colored background, just kind of like grabs people's attention, and suggested that for your pictures, try to have you're kind of doing something different in every one, like not 4 of you as a selfie, not 4 of you in group pictures, just kind of a mix of different things, which makes sense.
No, it does make sense. This is maybe I've been doing it all wrong. It's been just the same picture of me like 4 times in a row. I didn't even change it.
Yeah, no, that's probably why.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why.
Need different angles.
Oh man! All right, is it game show time? You ready to do some game show stuff here? I don't want to talk about Tinder, and I don't want. Yeah, let's just go on to Zach Sets the Record Straight, which is a game show we play here every week. We have its own music, which is going to play right now. So how it goes is Zach is going to tell us 3 Guinness World Records. 2 of them are true, and 1 of them is false. And the way the game goes is I'm supposed to guess which is which. So by all means, Zach, set the record straight here and let us know what the 3 Guinness World Records are.
All right, here we go. The first one. Mississippi town breaks record when 259 people eat watermelon. So we got a watermelon one. Number 2. 368 canines participate in record-breaking dog photo shoot. We got watermelon eating. We got big dog picture. And the third one is cheesemakers create 6,700 pounds of poutine for world record.
Was that in
got
Canada?
Watermelon.
It had to be in Canada.
You got dogs, and you have cheese.
The cheese one's true. I already got that one. That one's true. I don't. Do they even have poutine in other countries, or is that just a Canadian thing?
I've gotten it in America,
I know you've
But
got it here,
definitely,
but yeah.
but it's definitely a. Oh yeah, this is Canadian.
How many people was the watermelon? Was it 209? Is that what you said?
259 people.
Ah, man. These are all so different right now that I'm trying to like rationalize like which one seems the most ridiculous, but they're all pretty ridiculous in their own being right now. I will say,
They're always ridiculous. That's what kind of makes it fun every week.
all right, but
I didn't even know that was a record people even thought about.
I'm trying so hard to not like put a foot in my mouth right now, and I think I already did by assuming the cheese one was true. I want the other 2 to be false. I'll say the dog one's false. Let's go with that one. Oh, I'm wrong.
That one's actually true.
The dog one is true.
That one is correct. That one happened in Cleveland. Yep, organizers. It was a pet event. 368 dogs all got together. Beat the previous record, which was 123. So beat that down pretty good. No, the one that was false was the Mississippi one. About the watermelon. It was actually 754 people ate watermelon.
Oh,
So-
all right.
Over
Well,
double.
am I a steady 500 right now? Is that how this is working? Well, 2
Yep.
for 2, 2 and 2.
Yep, you got 2, and yeah, you've lost 2. You were completely right on the cheese one, both on it being Canadian. There was a team in Quebec, and it being correct. It took them 26 to 28 hours to prepare all the cheese curds for the poutine.
I'm
So,
really just trying to win
long
our
time.
Canadian fans back. I feel like I've been aggressive towards them for a while now. Well, shout out to Canada.
Yep. And another little nugget for you. The event, they used 40 deep frying machines to get the fries ready for all that cheese.
I do like
Thought that was fun,
poutine.
too.
That being said, I do like poutine.
I think everybody does, right? Can't go wrong with cheese on French fries.
No, but you can have a bad poutine. I'll say that, and even then, it's still pretty enjoyable. But it's not the same. Like a good one will go far. You'll remember it. Anyone who's had a bad one, though, I could see that turning you off from trying it again. But it is delicious. I would still recommend it. But that's Zach sets the record straight for this week. 2 and 2. I'll take that. I'm kind of really worried about keeping track of this win-loss kind of column here.
Oh no, don't worry. I'll keep track of it unless you keep beating me a bunch of times, and then I'll immediately forget.
I'm much more worried about the opposite of that, being like, I don't even know why we play this anymore. Will never wins. Like I'm feeling pretty good right now. There's really no way to prepare for this. It's not like I can study up on this. This is pure just random guessing and even trying to be rational and logical about it.
Yeah, I figure if you're above 33%, then you're winning because that's above just random guesses.
Yeah, I'm gonna start making new logic. I'm just gonna always pick the last one, like regardless, assuming
That's
you
an
shuffle
interesting
them.
strategy.
Like if you shuffle them all
But see,
around.
That's a little issue that I've run into. I try to remember. Oh, which one did I do last time? And I forgot which one I did last time. So it's probably even more random this way because I think when humans try to be random, they become less random. So I'm trying not to overthink it.
Well, speaking of possibly overthinking some stuff, today was the new Samsung announcement, of which they announced a couple new phones. There's the new Note. What is it? Note 8? No, not Note 8. Note 10 is the new. I think it's 10. The Note 10 and Note 10 Plus, and they came out with a whole bunch of stuff. They're going to be crazy expensive, really big, typical Samsung-looking phones. The only things I actually thought that were kind of cool is the Note has always come with the S Pen that you can use to like write on the phone and do all this stuff. The new thing you can do is you can do gestures with the pen, almost like a magic wand kind of thing, where you hover over it and you can give it certain gestures and it responds to that. I don't know why you would want to be able to do that, but I saw some funny Harry Potter stuff being commented on all of the debut today. Is this something kind of cool to you? I mean, you're a Harry Potter fan. Do you want to be like Harry Potter on your phone?
Well, that was the first thing I thought of when you said you can use the stylus, and you said the way you said motions. And my head was you can use like a wand, like in Harry Potter. Was my first thought. What sort of things can you do with it?
So I would say the coolest thing I saw, and it's mostly helpful with using the camera. So if you're trying to do certain selfies, there's a certain gesture you can use to zoom in, zoom out. I think you can switch from front camera to back camera. I didn't really look too much into it, and I'm sure once it actually comes out, we'll have a lot more demonstrations and videos on people testing it out and using it and seeing whether or not it's just a gimmick or if it actually is a useful thing. I just think that it's kind of weird that the big thing that this phone has always had has been the pen, and now it's almost they're using the pen without using the pen, kind of.
Without using the
Yeah,
pen.
like your biggest feature of the pen is to not use the pen. Maybe I'm overthinking it again here,
cool,
but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. Just to give, it's like, hey, you already have this tool. Here's something else you can do with it. I think kind of gimmicky at this point. I mean, I haven't heard all the features. Definitely cool, but it then just goes to, well, how often are you going to use that? I remember you had a phone where you could do like kind of that double flip with your wrist and it automatically opened the camera, which is like, well, that's kind of cool. But then it goes into like, well, how often do you really use that? And I think there were some other features on it where at first like, you're getting a new phone. Oh, this is what my new phone has. It does this cool stuff. Hey, check this out. And then over the 2 years that you own the phone, you used it,
all right, so
less than 10 times, and half of the times were when you were showing people at the beginning just what your cool phone could do.
All right, so the phone twist flip thing to get the camera, didn't use that all the time. What I did use all the time with that phone, though, is it had like this karate chop motion, and that would turn on the flashlight. Use that all the time. All the time. I thought that was kind of cool. But obviously that didn't stick, and I don't think there's any phones that have any those kind of gestures. I'm pretty sure the new Pixel phone, you can do certain hand gestures with your hand. Like you can hover your hand over it, and I think if you like pinch, it'll zoom in or out on certain things. But I think that's very new as well. I don't know if I like this kind of hovering gesture thing. It just seems like a whole other technique to kind of do, and I doesn't feel like it makes it any easier for anything. I don't really find the whole convenience of it all. But again, it's a technological improvement. We weren't able to do that last year. We are able to do it now. I don't know if it benefits anybody, but I mean, they're going to keep making phones regardless, so they're going to keep coming out with stuff like this. I don't think there's any way around it. But if you're a big Galaxy person, definitely check out those phones. The prices are up for sure. The specs on the phones are crazy. They're just huge sizes and definitely a workhorse of a phone. But I thought those were
the
cool.
Galaxy or the Note? That was the Note, right? Because the Note has a stylus.
Yep, the Notes.
I wasn't sure if they're coming out with two.
This is the first year I think they're coming out with two different Notes. A Note Plus and a Note regular. I don't know why they have that, but they're priced accordingly as well. And the Plus has almost every feature you could ever imagine in a phone. So I thought that was just kind of cool. I think the magic wand memes of this are just starting right now. I almost feel like they'd be better off with like a Harry Potter commercial at this point. Like how do we get?
They just steer right into it.
Yeah. How do we get the what's Radcliffe? Can we get Radcliffe in a commercial? He doesn't even need to be Harry Potter. If it's just him doing it on the phone, I think that would be huge.
Insinuating it, yeah.
Like if you could just have him using
that seems
it.
Like some good marketing opportunity right there.
I think so. I think that'd be great for everybody. I mean, not that Radcliffe needs work, but I mean, it's a good look. It's I don't. There's very few people that could pull off this kind of promotion, both for Samsung and for Radcliffe. I think it's a perfect marriage. You heard it here first. Little of column A, little of column B. we're, we're full of great
We
ideas.
just want a little cut. We just want half of 1%.
Speaking of movies, Disney announced that they're going to remake a whole bunch more, which is very unlike Disney, and they never remake movies. They're very original with everything. But when their new streaming platform releases or finally debuts later this year, it will come with a eventual a new Home Alone, a new Night at the Museum, a new Diary of the Wimpy Kid, and a new Cheaper by the Dozen. Have you seen all those? Have you seen any of those?
I haven't seen Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I definitely saw Home Alone.
Yeah, I've seen Home Alone. Cheaper by the Dozen, that was with
Yep. Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. I remember that one.
Yeah, I saw
don't
that.
remember Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Is that slipped through the cracks somewhere? I don't really. I'm not very familiar with that
I
one.
think that came out, I want to say between like 5 and 10 years ago. So kind of where, like, the other ones came out when we were kids. So I think it made more sense for us to see it, where that came out when we were more of adults and wasn't the traditional Disney movie that it would have been on your radar to go see. So I think we'd aged out by that point.
Do you think Disney will ever be discouraged from remaking certain movies?
As soon as they stop making money.
So no. This is
Nope.
inevitable. Do you think we've seen the
Nope,
last of the
can't
live
wait till
action?
their next streaming service comes out and they can remake these again.
Yeah, on like a 3D platform, 3D streaming platform.
They made at least 3 Home Alones already.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem with all of that. I mean, I think it's not easy to remake a movie because the casting has to be right, and then you're under the predicament that I think they struggled with both the Disney movies that released this summer, with Aladdin and Lion King, of which you want it to be still the classic movie that everybody's going to recognize, but you don't want it to be quite as predictable as the last one. You don't want to be exactly like that, but then you got to be very careful of the changes you make. So it seems like such a difficult task, and it's amazing how much money these movies still make. I don't think any remake has really outlived the original, and maybe I'm just saying the old man get off my lawn kind of attitude right now, but obviously it's not going anywhere. I would love to see some of the casting notes on any of these guys, though. I think that'll be the most fascinating thing. See who's going to want to dive into all these. What actor is going to be taking Pesci's spot in Home Alone or something like that.
Why don't we just do what they're doing for the new Netflix movie, and we'll just age adjust Pesci, and he can keep doing it.
Actually, we haven't talked about that on the podcast, have we? We talked about that?
No, because it came out right before our last podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, did you saw the trailer on that?
Yep.
Did you think? All right. How old did you think? How old do you think he is in real life, and how old do you think he looked in that movie? Or
Well,
you
first off, this is for The Irishman. It's gonna be on Netflix sometime in the future. It's got Pesci. It's got, who else does it have? It's directed by Martin Scorsese.
De Niro, Pesci,
and
one
and
more,
Pacino.
and Pacino. Yeah, one more. Yeah.
And the big claim to fame that they let everyone know ahead of time was using some of I think it's the same as like the deep fake technology of making these guys look younger. But and maybe it would have been too much to make them look a lot younger, but they're really old right now. But I feel like they've moved them from like really old to just like still pretty old. Like, it didn't make them look 40s or something. It was like, hey, you went from 80s to 70s.
I'm not sure what I wanted to look like, because it kind of looks exactly like the way it should. Like, we shouldn't have technology to age somebody any more than this. Like, I want to say they get like maybe 5-10 years knocked off their life off of that, and that might even be a stretch there. They kind of just look like a healthier, older age. Does that make any sense? Like, do you kind of get that? Like,
Yeah.
they just look like their most ideal health at this age they're currently at right now is what this effect essentially made out of them. At least that's what I thought it looked like. It didn't look like they were cut their age in half. I didn't look like that at all.
No, and I guess that's what I thought more it was gonna be. It doesn't seem like it's a time jumping kind of movie because that's what I assumed when this coming out was like, oh, this makes sense. You're gonna have them at their current age for a portion of the movie, and then you're gonna have them 20, 40 years ago as their younger selves, and that's when you're gonna need to have them look young. But it seems like they're just making them look marginally younger for the whole movie. So it seems like it was really expensive. This could very much just be like what they did with it's not quite to the level of the Matrix, because the Matrix did was like really cool, but just hey, this is the first step, and right now it's just more of an idea and they're testing it out, but in a couple of years they're gonna be able to do some really cool stuff.
I guess my expectations of it was that stupid Snapchat filter, the baby filter thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because that I don't know, that kind of works. It's scary, kind of how well that worked, and that's completely gimmicky. But I imagine if you finesse that a little bit more, or maybe put some, Scorsese money on into that kind of technology, that that might actually become something out of this. But I don't know. Do you like that they're using, I guess, veteran old actors and trying to age them younger? Like, is that good, or would you rather them just cast people that are the appropriate age?
I totally get you want the big names, but it sounds like they spent a ton of money on the technology, and you would just think you'd be able to spend less than that to get age appropriate actors. Maybe aren't quite at that level of those guys, but scale down a little bit, and maybe you also don't expect to make as much money, but you can still you can still make this. Your profit could still be the same without having to do this. But I think it's maybe, like I said, it's just more of a, hey, we're gonna try this out. If this doesn't work with these guys, it's not gonna work. So we're gonna go right to the top. Scorsese, all these guys, boom, we're gonna go for it.
Well, that being said, I am looking forward to the movie. Whether that effect has much of an impact on it, it's still a Scorsese movie with three pretty big powered home run hitting actors here. All right, you got some big guys out there. So some proven actors. So I would still bet on the movie being successful. I don't know if this is gonna be something in the future though. I don't know if I want that. I don't.
We won't know. It's gonna be on Netflix, so they don't release the numbers, so we'll have no idea if it's a success or not.
It will be released in certain select theaters so that it can qualify for awards.
Gotcha.
It'll probably be in it'll be in some small town neck of the woods. It'll be North Adams is where it'll be airing. It'll be something like that.
Yeah, you can either come to this movie for 2 hours tonight, or you can have a month's worth of Netflix where you can watch a whole bunch of stuff. Your decision.
Yeah, which you could pause it and enjoy at your own leisure.
Yeah, choose wisely.
Yeah. Do we like that? Do you want to go to the movies? Or if every movie released was straight at home, would you be better off with that?
I still like going to the movies. I think that it still works. It's still fun. But I think when you put it directly with, I can have this on my TV at home right now, or I have to leave the house. I think a lot of the part of the movies is, well, you have to, like, that's your only option. Like, you go to the movies and you go see it, or you have to wait months to be able to see it. And so I think that's part of it. That's the only option.
If there was a way to live in the world where you never knew it was released to theaters and just got the notice, hey, released straight to DVD or available on streaming services now, I think you would quickly forget a lot of that.
Well, as well as, like I said, if the equal price is 1 2-hour movie or a month's worth of content, I think that is a factor as well.
Yeah, well, I guess the sound bars and bigger TVs and projectors and all that has gotten a lot more affordable. So if you wanted to have a kind of your own home theater setup, I want to say it's a million times easier to do that now than it was any time before that. Not even to mention with all the streaming services and the amount of videos and film and stuff you kind of have at your fingertips so easily. Years ago, even if you had all that, you still got to go buy the new DVD or the new VHS anytime it comes out. Like that's a lot more expensive.
Still requires you to leave the house.
Yeah, Yeah. Versus this, you log in and you set it all up, and then boom, magic, just like that. Well, we got just about 5 minutes left in the podcast here. I just want to make sure to remind everybody to go to the website, lcalcb.com. Listen to some of the old podcasts on there, as well as get some more bio about Zach and I, a little background story on us. If you're looking to get a hold of Zach or see what he's got going on in his life, make sure you follow him on Twitter, which is
WickedZman24.
And check out soldbywill.com for all your San Diego real estate needs. Almost there. Football's coming. All right. You know what? I can't decide whether some listeners are excited about the football talk that's going to be coming back, or if they're like dreading it. You know, all the anti-sports fans that somehow listen to us so regularly. But I like to think we still mix it up, and we give it a pretty decent variety every show, either way. But we got about just a couple minutes here. I already started playing the music, but is there one last topic you wanted to get into to close things out, or anything else you wanted to add for the podcast today?
I'm just gonna go along with your football talk. Yep, super excited to go watch the first episode of Hard Knocks. Starting to get into fantasy football podcasts and articles. And I don't know, for whatever reason, this year I feel like I'm woefully behind. I don't know exactly why. It's not like I didn't play well last year. Wasn't playing last year. Just for some reason, like I'm hearing names and who's that guy? I don't know anything about that guy. I should know all about him. So, just it's starting to ramp up. I'm getting excited. So, looking forward to draft time, which is coming up pretty soon.
Tinker. I can't wait for football. It's gonna be a fun year. I really can't wait for basketball to kick off either. With the amount of the off-season stuff, it's just, yeah, it's gonna be fun. But anyways, thanks as always for listening. Make sure you check us out on the website, lcalcb.com, as well as we're on every other streaming platform that podcasts are available on. So check us out on all those and post some comments. If anyone wants to be on the show, or if you know somebody who might fit on the show, or some sort of expert or specialist in some sort of topic, feel free to let us know. We're all ears for topics and ideas. Yeah, make sure you send Zach a new world record if you got any good ideas for that. But with that being said, we'll be back next week.
It's really tricky.
We'll be back next week, Wednesday at 3 o'clock. It does record live, lcalcb.com. Thank you, and we're out.
Little column A, little column B.